This episode of the Beauté by ABIC podcast is brought to you by Smartpay. Hello and welcome to the Beauté by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Here, we are strengthening and unifying the industry through representation, innovation, and education. This is a platform created and dedicated to the aesthetic and beauty industry, valuing unity and advancement. We serve to represent, support, and inspire you by connecting you with industry experts, expanding your knowledge through educational pieces, and bringing you the latest industry news. This is Beauté by ABIC. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller, and today's guest is Robert Caruana, Senior Manager at Smartpay. Robert is a wealth of marketing knowledge and has over 12 years' experience in the payments industry and 8 years international experience working across markets in Asia Pacific, South America, and Europe. Robert is a strong strategic thinker, dedicated to driving business results, having worked in a broad range of functional roles, including strategic planning, marketing, and customer experience across a variety of sectors in consumer and small business. Through customer research and data analysis, Robert understands the needs of customers, driving sound business strategies to drive behavioural change and revenue growth. Marissa Cross is an owner of an Ella Bache franchise in Armidale for the past 16 years. Marissa and her team provide tailor-made treatments for their clients and are one of Smartpay's customers. From Smartpay and Ella Bache, today we welcome Robert and Marissa. Welcome to the podcast, Robert and Marissa. How are you today?
Very well, thanks, Steph. Great to be here.
Very well, thank you.
It's so nice to have you both. And of course, Robert, you're here from Smartpay, and Marissa, you're here from Ella Bache. You're a client of Smartpay.
Yes, I'm from Ella Bache, Armidale. Yes, a client of Smartpay.
Yeah, so today we're here talking about all things finances and business. So those of you that are listening that own clinics and salons, you'll love today's episode because we're talking about how to save your fees on FPOS transactions. And before we start, Robert, I'd really like to know, tell our listeners all about Smartpay and what you do there.
Well, thanks, Steph. We provide innovative FPOS solutions to business. We've been around for about 20 years. We serviced 30,000 SMEs, and with our zero FPOS solution, we're helping thousands of merchants save thousands. We do pride ourselves on our 24/7 customer service, premium customer service.
Well, that's wonderful. And you invited Marissa from Ella Bache, who is a client of Smartpay, here today. Marissa, tell us about your business and what you do.
So I have a franchise Ella Bache salon in Armidale in New South Wales. I've had the franchise for 16 yees and I run a team of 9 girls. We're super busy. We've got a great clientele. So Smartpay is really working for us well.
Oh, that's wonderful. And obviously things have changed over the past couple of years, especially in the wake of COVID. How has that sort of affected your business and also the payment landscape within your business? Why did you choose to bring Smartpay on board?
I guess I was just sick of having to pay those monthly merchant fees. I had a friend tell me about the Smartpay. He just introduced it into his salon. And we just had a bit of a discussion about it and it sounded awesome. Who wouldn't want to not have to pay merchant fees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Robert, tell us a little bit about clients such as Marissa. How do they utilise your service?
Well, if we take a step back from a landscape perspective, we've seen a lot of change over the last couple of years. And as you said, there seems to be a lot less cash now. People are using, a lot more people are paying with their card or their mobile wallet. And subsequently, what is happening now is more and more merchants are experiencing a higher amount of fees. So like Marissa, they are looking around and looking for alternative options. Researchers tells us, there's been a 90% increase in digital wallets. Now, nearly 1 in 2 Australians are actually using that as their preferred payment. So, as a result of that, fees are going up or have been going up for small business. And if you think about the average merchant out there paying around $400 per month in fees, that's nearly $5,000 a year. And that's a reasonable amount to absorb in this current environment. So, subsequently, we're seeing exactly like Marissa, merchants shopping around and looking for alternative options.
I know I certainly did myself. I own clinics, and I was paying actually about $15,000 in merchant fees, I think, a year in every single clinic, maybe more. And I was mind boggled when I find out that you actually don't need to pay those fees. There are ways to avoid it, and Smartpay is one of those premium ways of doing it. And Smartpay is very unique because you have extremely amazing customer service. You are a premium service. Can you tell us about how Smartpay differs from other providers out there?
Very much. I mean, we do have we do pride ourselves on that, and we have a 24/7 customer support service from payment specialists. Our business is all about payments and FPOS solutions. So every member of our team that services our customers knows their subject matter inside out. They're specialists in payments, and our merchants experience that. When they phone in, we can resolve their issues immediately because we've got a team that are experts in what they do.
I can attest to that because I'm a customer. But Marissa, do you want to tell us about your experience with Smartpay as well?
Yeah, I had an awesome experience when I first sort of signed up to Smartpay. I can't remember what his name was, but he was great. Like, he talked me through it. Like, any sort of question that I had, he would always find out and he'd get back to me straight away. And we had a great experience. The sign up was so easy. I think we had the machine sent to us like within a week. Like, it was really quick and easy, and they were great.
Did you find benefits straight away when you started using it? How long did you realize it was having an impact on your business?
Straight away, like, because our merchant fees are at least $500 a month. So as soon as we signed up to it, we're saving that money straight away. So it was an easy transition.
And so you noticed the benefits straight away. What kind of awesome things are you doing with those savings?
So we're definitely putting it back into the business. We've bought some new equipment. We're putting an extra cubicle into our salon. So that's sort of in turn going to make more money for the business. We're definitely putting it all back in at the moment. So
that's wonderful. And Robert, tell us about some of the client reactions that you've had sort of around surcharging. Are customers concerned about it, or is this the new way of the world? Is this what the new landscape looks like?
Look, I think it's fair to say that a lot of businesses are concerned about the customer reaction. I have the luxury of talking to customers every week, and what we're seeing is since COVID, a dramatic increase in surcharging, and customers, being quite open to paying a small fee because they understand the challenges of small business. I mean, if you wind the clock back a bit, I mean, surcharging is not a new thing. I mean, if I think about my own personal experience, I've been paying a surcharge on my utility bills, my phone bill for well over a decade. So it's not something. I think what we're seeing, and I think COVID was a catalyst for surcharging becoming, more the norm, which is pretty much what it's becoming. I mean, I speak to merchants and they're saying, well, I've experienced, when I ask them about how did you hear of Smartpay, well, I experienced it. I was at a cafe and I was surcharging, and I spoke to the business owner and he told me about the Smartpay zero cost FPOS solution. I was speaking to a salon owner just last week, and she said she found out about us through a client of hers who owns a cafe and is using our product, and recommended that she switched to Smartpay zero cost FPOS in order to help save on her costs. So I think it is fast becoming the norm, surcharging, across the country.
Do you think we as a nation, and I think as a global society, are moving more towards a cashless society? Is that where we're heading?
Without a doubt, Steph, without a doubt. I think, the last 2 years has accelerated that cashless society probably by a decade. If you think about it, I can't recall the last time I went to an ATM. I don't know about yourself, Steph and Marissa, but I really can't recall the last time I went to an ATM. And from a cash, I think I've still got, the cash I had in my wallet 6 months ago is still there, the small amount. I use my card. I use my card for everything. It's just so convenient.
I'm laughing because I am exactly the same. I think I've had the same exact notes in my wallet ever since before COVID. Oh, goodness, I hadn't even realised until you've said it just now. But do you think a decade? Do you think we fast forwarded a decade?
Well, I think so. I just think, it started off with people not wanting to touch cash, because of the COVID and the issues associated with that. But I think as people used either their mobile wallet or their card to pay for everything, they've just said, wow, why would I go back? I mean, this is so convenient. This is easy. I don't have to, go to an ATM. I can just get on with it. So I think, absolutely. I can't see it ever changing, to be honest. I don't think we'll ever be a cashless society. I think there'll always be cash around, but I think certainly now that is the preferred payment and will continue.
And what a burden on businesses. Obviously, if we don't adapt and change with the way we look at fees, I can see that would put quite a heavy strain on businesses. Marissa, did you see post-COVID that was happening, that your fees were actually increasing, not sort of in conjunction with that increase in revenue? How did that?
Yeah, for sure, because everyone, definitely was paying by card, and we were encouraging it as well with COVID. We weren't taking any cash. It's definitely changed the ways. But then we were getting people coming and paying with premium cards, which is an even higher surcharge to our business. So our merchant fees were, just skyrocketing.
And so when you're talking about premium cards, Smartpay, you offer that service. You can charge with your FPOS machine. Does it actually service premium cards?
Very much so. Yeah, we accept all cards on our terminal.
Oh, wonderful. So American Express as well?
Yes.
Well, that's actually very handy. I think because certain terminals don't accept American Express. Is that right?
Well, I think it's a relationship with the individual business. So those businesses that feel that they have a need to accept American Express will request that, and we can facilitate that.
So Marissa, obviously there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period and an education piece around introducing a new system like Smartpay into your business. Tell us how you educate your customers and what the reaction has actually been from your customers in response to this.
So most of our customers have been so good with it. The way that we introduced it into the salon, we just educated our clients that we were just adding this surcharge into our FPOS system in place of putting our service charge up. And just that it would help our business, especially after COVID. And they were all so great with that. And we just explained to them about the different fees. If you press the savings, it was only a 30-cent charge instead of a percentage if it was a Visa. And if they had any problems with that, they were happy to, pay with cash. But most people were totally fine with it.
Is your salon still paying FPOS fees? Join thousands, saving thousands when you switch to Smartpay's zero-cost FPOS solution. They have saved our beauty professionals and hair merchants collectively over $1.3 million per annum in FPOS fees. Want to know how you can save? As an ABIC member, visit info.smartpay.com.au/ABIC to take advantage of our current cashback offer when you switch. Terms and conditions apply.
And so did you actually, I know I put the signage up around my reception area, and people did ask about it, and they thought that we had some great reactions to it. Did you send out an EDM, or did you send out, notifications in advance of their appointments?
No, we just had it at our reception desk, and people were totally fine they were on board with it. So that's all we really needed to do to communicate to the clients.
We found the same, that we didn't really need to do much, as long as you're transparent, obviously, about the changes, explaining to the client that we don't want to have to raise our prices too much, that we want to keep the prices. And so, I believe that if you look at your business holistically and you say, okay, what can I save in the stock area? What can I save in my FPOS and finance area? How can I shave my percentages down on my loans? If you take a holistic approach to that, you find that you don't really need to lift your prices too much, because you've actually gone, you can lift your prices a certain percentage, but if you lower your costs also a certain percentage, that balances out, and it's much easier on the client.
Yeah, that's right. And it's easier to, put an FPOS charge on there than putting your prices up and then having to explain that as well, because everything adds up. So if you're adding $2 or $3 here and there, their treatment price ends up being $10 or $20 more. They're better off just paying that surcharge.
Absolutely. I hear you. I think that's a great point. Robert, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, look, I think I'm hearing that a lot from our merchants as well. I mean, they've been confronted with the increase in cost over the last couple of years, and a number of them have been at that point where, do I increase prices or do I look at reducing costs, and how can I go about doing that? And I think, you raised a really good point, both of you, about the transparency. I think that is key, and that's what I'm hearing from a number of our customers as well, is that they're placing the signage, they're explaining, and customers are okay with it. They understand it. They understand the why, that the small businesses are challenged, and this is something that they've done to try and reduce their costs. And I think with our zero cost FPOS solution, as you mentioned, Marissa, there are options, on how much the merchant will pay. It's a small surcharge, but they do have those options depending on the size of the transaction or how they just wish to pay. So customers have got those options, and yet a merchant or a business can save at the same time.
What I found really helpful is that those options, as you said, if you communicate with your clients in advance, they know that they can transfer some funds into their bank account and only pay the 30 something cents charge. I don't know what it is exactly. It's a very low charge for an FPOS transaction. They can use the credit facility, or they can prepare and bring cash. The other alternative is that you can actually reverse that, and you can actually bring back the charge back into your business. So if you have a particularly important VIP client that you don't want to charge, and that you want to give that really premium service to, or that there's a client that maybe does get a little bit unhappy with certain things, you can actually preempt that and take control of what you do with each client individually. I love that.
Yeah, that's a great point, Steph. And again, they're the features that you have with our solution. But I think that's a really good point about the advance warning and allowing that customer to make those decisions.
And the clients are just so kind about it. I've had, feedback from the industry and from people worried because our industry is so empathetic. We always put ourselves in the client's shoes. Isn't that right, Marissa? We're always thinking,
That's right.
If
Should we? Better not.
if we could, I was saying to Robert, if we could do this for free and give it to our clients for free, we would. And he started laughing. He said, "You're the only industry that I've heard would actually give clients treatments for free." Well, it's because we love our clients. We actually love what we do. And, if I could find a way of getting the government to fund me doing my job, I probably would, and give it to my clients for free, because we just nurture our clients so much. So it's natural for our industry to be hesitant and go, oh, our clients, we wouldn't want to charge them a little bit extra. But in all fairness, that's what clients expect. Clients expect to pay. It's not a bad thing. Our economy is very important. It's very important that we look after this transaction of cash and money that happens between us. It's what drives success in our country. And now, we feel in our industry a lot of guilt towards that, but actually that, our commercialism is what distinguishes us and makes us thrive, and is the difference between having a first world country and a third world country, is that strong economy. So that exchange of goods and services is wonderful. It's actually beneficial for everybody's life. If somebody comes and spends some money in your clinic, your staff members then get a salary, and then they go next door to the cafe and they buy a coffee, and then that's how our economy runs, right? So we're going into this really interesting period of time where we're having rates rises, we're having inflation come about. There's talk of a thing called stagflation, which means very low growth and extremely high inflation. And as we're seeing costs rise all the time. So it's only natural for businesses to find ways of being able to cope with that. And it's only natural for clients to be able to appreciate when we do find those extra ways of helping them to be able to afford the service. So I definitely think if anyone's listening to this podcast and really, experiencing a bit of financial strain, and even if you're not, it's really important to look after your financial end and your financial services, and definitely give Smartpay a call, if nothing else, just to find out more. And tell us a little bit about, I've heard some great stories about, Marissa, you told us about saving money on your FPOS fees and what you're doing with them, but tell us some stories about what you've heard your clients and customers actually do with the savings, because I've heard some creative ones.
I think, like Marissa, you mentioned earlier, you've been able to invest the savings into your own business by creating better cubicles, etc., for your clients who are ultimately going to benefit. There are a number of things I'm hearing from customers in how they're reinvesting those savings, and from covering day-to-day expenses. I mean, we used to use the word cash is king. And, through this conversation, we've realised that cash is no longer king. I think it's cash flow is king now. And it's all about, being able to leverage those savings to reinvest in your business to create a better business and a better service for your customers. And some of the merchants, some of our customers that I've spoken to have been able to, invest that into a greater range of products, for their salon, to cater to a greater need of customer, requirements. They've been able to, bring on a part-time person through those savings, from a customer service perspective. So that's great. I mean, they're actually using those savings to actually help part fund employment for someone. They're investing in local advertising to help grow their business. And even one salon owner that we have has actually invested the savings to develop a loyalty program for their VIP customers. And it's just great hearing those stories, because at the end of the day, they've got that extra cash flow to enable them to actually go ahead and reinvest and do the things that I've just spoken about.
That's so heartwarming to hear that everybody who's getting the benefit is either using it to help them run their business and pay for extra staff, or also give back to the clients, because that's what it's about, giving back to your consumers and making your business the best it possibly can be. I have heard that Smartpay is one of the businesses that has a huge word of mouth referral. Why do you think that is?
I think a couple of things. I mean, obviously, we have got a zero cost FPOS solution, which is fantastic, and that does help merchants save in that, with their FPOS fees. I think the premium customer service that we provide, and once a customer, I mean, Marissa, you just mentioned it earlier. You spoke to one of our payment specialists, and they were able to, they inquired about your business and were able to look after you quite well.
Yeah.
And I think that service level, which we are, renowned for, goes a long way. I mean, if you think about a small business, they're time poor. And I'm sure, Marissa, you'll agree with this, that, any small business owner is extremely time poor. So, if you receive that premium service, it goes a long way. I think the solution is fantastic. We have a great solution. It's a no fuss solution. And again, that's fantastic for small businesses. And our customers have referred, a number of them do. In fact, everyone I speak to has referred us, which is fantastic.
Oh, how wonderful to hear that. Do you, Robert, have an offer that you want to talk about in terms of being an ABIC customer or an ABIC member? You are a generous supporter of the beauty and aesthetic industry, and ABIC is so very privileged to have you as a supplier member. I know that you and I have many conversations about how we can actually help our industry grow and thrive. And you have provided quite a bit of education for our business owners, generic education that will help them grow their businesses. So I just wanted to thank you so much for that. You're well and truly such a special partner that we have. Can you tell us a bit about what you would like to offer ABIC clients or ABIC members with Smartpay?
Thanks, Steph, very much. I mean, first of all, it's great to be a partner and a supplier for ABIC, and likewise, I've enjoyed our interactions and our very constructive conversations. For ABIC members, we have got if they do make the switch to Smartpay's zero cost FPOS, they can receive a cashback of up to $1,000 if they transact a certain amount in any of the first 3 months. They can go to our landing page, which is info.smartpay.com.au/ABIC to learn more. We feel very happy to offer that to your members.
Well, that's so wonderful. Thank you. That is very generous. I have not heard of an offer like that in the finance world. That's wonderful. $1,000 cash back. That's great. And I think that will go a long way to helping a lot of businesses. I could talk to you all day about the things that would benefit our industry and our businesses in terms of finances, but I know in the future we're going to do some great initiatives together to help business owners thrive. You've got great education as well and some great knowledge, and I know that you'll come on and do some videos for us and some lives to help our ABIC members thrive as well. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Marissa, for coming on today and sharing your experience with us. And Robert, thank you for everything that you do for our industry.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Beauty by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay connected.